This video is brought to you by my latest book, How to Play Melodic Rock Lead Guitar, a comprehensive guide to doing exactly that, playing melodic rock lead guitar. This is not just some collection of scale patterns and tabs, although you do get plenty of those, but you also get an entire chapter on how to come up with your own licks, as well as video content, tutorials and demonstrations, loads of jam tracks, and all the way through I'm encouraging you to expand your fretboard knowledge and showing you how you can think in a more musical and melodic way. Check out the link in the description for more details. Hello chaps, welcome once again to John Robson Guitar Tuition. As always, I do hope you're well. That little solo there was me trying to illustrate a particular style of rhythm that is very prominent across all genres of music, from classical through to metal through to blues and you name it. This particular rhythmic device is everywhere you care to look, and that's what we're about at the moment on these Wednesday videos. It's all about learning to understand, learning how to count, and in many cases learning how to recognize when written down certain types of rhythmic things. What I'm talking about today is the whole aspect of playing swing or shuffle rhythms, and here's some information on what's going on with them.
Here is the explanation.
Okay, so swing or shuffle rhythms, as they're sometimes called, the two words are pretty much interchangeable. This is a type of rhythm that is essentially based around a triplet feel. Now, if you were watching a few weeks ago, you'll know what triplets are, but if you weren't, I'll just quickly recap on that. A triplet is what happens when you take each beat in the bar and divide it by 3. So you're getting 3 evenly spaced sections to each beat of the bar. So if I just set a metronome going like this, okay, that's at 70 beats per minute, nice and slow so we can hear what's going on. All you've got to do on each beat of the bar is say the word evenly, and that gives you the rhythm for a triplet. So here we go, we'll just go evenly, 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 evenly. And then if we just basically miss out the middle one of those, the then, if you like, of the evenly, and just play the first and final part of the beat, we get this. Evenly, 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 evenly. Something like that. And that is basically a swing or shuffle rhythm. Let's take a look at a little guitar profile that I've prepared, which looks like this. Now, in the first bar, you can see that the rhythm notation is basically triplets. We've got a quarter note triplet followed by an eighth note triplet. Of course, a quarter note is worth 2 eighth notes. If you've been paying attention, you'll know that. So we're getting 2/3 of the beat with this. Hope you can see my mouse pointer there. And 1/3 of the beat with this. So there's your first beat. There's your second beat. There's your third beat. There's your fourth beat. Okay? So evenly and evenly, like that. Okay, but as you can tell, it looks a bit sort of cluttered and messy writing it out that way. And if the whole tune is played with that kind of feel, then it's much neater to just write them out as regular eighth notes and just use this little swing designation at the top where we're seeing a pair of eighth notes is played as a quarter note triplet followed by an eighth note triplet. And if we listen to the first part of it, here it is, I think we'll loop that round. There we go. So that's just going to loop round like this. Okay. Then if we take a listen to the bit that's written differently, but it's got this swing or shuffle designation here, it will sound exactly the same. So whenever you see this kind of, I can't click on it, whenever you see this annotation here, that's telling you that although it might be written as this, let me get the metronome going, it might be written as you actually play it like this. And that is the essence of what is going on with a swing or shuffle feel. You hear this all the time, in like lots and lots of diverse and different places. It's that little demo that I did at the top of the video it's got quite a country feel to it. I actually once, when I was in a country band, 30 odd years ago, I actually lobbied for the band to do a country version of The Boys Are Back in Town, because that has that sort of swing feel to it. If I just play some of the chords, you'll just slow it down a bit, you'll hear how it could work as a country song. 1, 2, 3. Like that. That's the chord sequence for the verse of The Boys Are Back in Town. I thought it would have made a great country tune, but it didn't get past the decision-making process. People thought I was a bit mad. Then another one, you're going to hear the swing kind of feel, shuffle feel all over blues. One example that springs to mind straight away would be something like... Pride and Joy, or that was my approximation of Pride and Joy by Stevie Ray Vaughan. And, so Thin Lizzy, Stevie Ray Vaughan, it's a bit of a gap, isn't it? But it's not that sort of, wider spectrum of tunes. But there's one piece of music that is often used by music teachers. I don't know if this will translate well outside the UK, but there's one piece of music which is the theme tune to the world's longest running soap opera, I believe, which also has this kind of feel. Let me see if I can remember it. Yes, for those of you outside the UK, that is the theme tune to the BBC radio soap The Archers, an everyday tale of the farming community in the fictional county of Borsetshire. Used to listen to that every day. But, that dum-dee-dum-dee-dum-dee-dum, that is what the kind of shuffle or swing feel is. And, you can have a lot of fun with it. You know, as you've heard, there are kind of different songs that use it. Another one, if I play this little riff here, you can kind of tell what it is, but if I give it that sort of swing eighth note feel rather than the straight eighths, then it'll be a lot more obvious. Like that. So that's probably just got the video demonetized. That'll upset the copyright wombles. So swing, shuffle, call it what you want. It's basically giving it that kind of lopsided, bouncy kind of feel that characterizes so many songs that they just don't sound right with that without putting that on. Crazy Little Thing Called Love is an example of that. Likewise, if you apply this particular method of playing when it isn't in keeping with the song, then it can be a real kind of killer. Some people, whenever they're just doing regular strumming, will get into the habit of just putting that sort of bouncy feel in no matter what. And I've heard versions of Let It Be played. Like that, and it just doesn't work. So you've got to be able to turn it on and turn it off at will. And I find the best way of doing that and not settling into the default way of applying that bouncy kind of shuffle feel to everything regardless, which is a real trap. I've seen people get really locked into that and unable to get out of it, is learn how to turn it on at will by practicing it in the way that I've mentioned here, evenly, and so on. And then once you can turn it on at will, it's much easier to turn it off at will should the need be. Anyway, that is what's going on with triplet-based shuffle or swing rhythms. Now you know what to do. Go away and have some fun with it. And as always, you'll find a full tab for the solo at the start of the video in both Guitar Pro and PDF formats, along with a clip of me playing it, that explanation you've just seen there, and a jam track to play along with yourself. All of that is up on my Patreon page. There's the address, link in the description. As I'm sure you know by now, it's $3 a month, or roughly £3. I think about £2.50, not sure, but thereabouts. And you get access to all of these additional resources like tabs and jam tracks and extra content that I post usually about 3 times a week, sometimes more. And obviously I want to say a massive thank you to everybody who supports me in that way, or any of the others, all of which are downstairs in the description. Much appreciated, truly grateful. Thank you so much, you're helping me keep the lights on around here. And that's pretty much it for today, folks. Hope you've enjoyed the video and found it useful and informative in some small way. And if that's the case, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell if you haven't already done so. Why not drop me a like as well while you're at it. Don't forget the live stream every Friday, 5 PM UK time, where we drink beer and have a chat. Basically, can you think of a better way to kick off a weekend? I can't. I'd love to see you there if you can make it. But for now, I'll bid you all a good day and say thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your time. Look after yourselves, folks. Stay well, stay safe, and above all, stay sane. Bye for now.